the top seed. For the Blue Hawks, another shutout, beating Trinity 18-0. Ben, we expect to see a lot of running today.
Well, that's what Exeter likes to definitely do the most. They've got 6 guys that run the ball. Combined on the season, those 6 running backs for the Blue Hawks have carried the ball over 400 times, 402 times for 2,435 yards and 28 touchdowns. They average 6 yards a carry. We'll also see John Antista running quite a bit for the Bishop Girton Cardinals. They'd like to try to get the ball out to one of their wideouts, Matt O'Hearn, if they can, but today's field conditions may not allow for that.
For the Cardinals, number 32, Matt O'Hearn, and number 14, Grant Webb, will await the kick by number 45 for Exeter, Matt Haro. And we expect the kicking game to be a big factor today. The sleet and the snow is moderate right now. It's not piling up, but we've got an enthusiastic crowd who wants this game to take place. It's number 4 Girton against number 3 Exeter today on Media One Sports. Haro's all set to go. He's got his teammate all set. And we're happy to bring you today's Division II championship. Oh, a booming kick by Haro will go all the way into the end zone and come out to the 20-yard line. No return for Girton.
Well, Girton will get the ball starting at the 20-yard line. You know they're pumped up for this game. There's got to be, I just want to mention this, there might be something in the back of the Bishop Girton minds just a little bit. If they can come away with this game and win the state championship, their crosstown rivals, Nashua, also playing for the state championship today. And every Thanksgiving, Girton and Nashua play each other. And if they both win the state championship game today, next Thanksgiving could be a real, true state title matchup.
Number 10, Todd Lozo, is the quarterback for Bishop Girton. He's started the last couple of weeks. Number 18, Antista, the tailback, gets the first call and dives over the 20, gets to the 23-yard line. Getting up off the pile, Jamie Soller, who had a tremendous game last week against Trinity, had a big second-half interception in that one, and it's going to bring up 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, the interception by Soller really was probably the key play of the game, as it took what might have been a tenuous 6-0 lead and spread it out to a 2-touchdown advantage, and it really helped the Blue Hawks onto that shutout victory.
Power I formation for the Cardinals. Just underway, first series of the ball game. Quick pitch, Antista. Can't turn the corner. The Blue Hawk defense shuts down the running back, led by Alan Miriam and Brian Burbank.
The thing that's nice about Antista, not only is he an effective runner up the middle, but does a good job of getting around the corner too and getting some speed, like he did in that 37-yard run last week against Stover and what set up the winning touchdown.
Todd Lozo, as we mentioned, comes into the ball game as the second-string quarterback. Shane Bognaski played for the first part of the season, but Lozo was the engineer of that win against Dover last week. Third down play, off tackle. It's O'Hearn, and he will be shy of the first down as he picks up only a couple. Getting up off the bottom of the pile is senior Tim Warnock.
Well, nice job immediately there by Exeter as they got off to the kind of start they like to. They kick off the ball, and now they've forced Girton into a punting situation. Should give the Blue Hawks pretty good position to start this game from.
Eric Boutwell gets a good snap from center and gets off a nice kick. Brian Burbank will let it drop, and it will roll inside the 30-yard line to the 26-yard line. That's a great kick under these conditions by Eric Boutwell.
It's about a 49-yard punt. The punt returner for the Blue Hawks just decided to let it go, and the Girton Cardinals got a good roll out of it. It's going to be 1st and 10 now for Exeter at the 28-yard line.
Chris Bartell is the Blue Hawk quarterback wearing number 5. They will go with a straight T formation, and what fans of Blue Hawk football have come to call the all-weather offense. 2 tight ends, straight T formation, ball at the 27, 1st and 10. Bartell, Walsh, off tackle, check that, that's Fellman. Feldman gets up to the 32-yard line. A nice gain of 3-4 will give him 5 yards and make it 2nd down and 5.
Does a good job of finding that hole. The thing that Girton's going to have to do today is just try to figure out who has the ball coming out of the backfield. With that setup that Exeter likes to use, it's tough to tell which direction they're going to go on each and every play.
Brian Burbank now in the Blue Hawk backfield with 9:40 to go in the first quarter. Bartell right up the middle to Graham, and Graham gets over the 35. He'll pick up 3 on the carry, and he'll bring up 3rd down and short, as the tackle was made by Josh Jerry of the Girton Cardinals.
Number 9, Scott Graham, also an effective runner for the Blue Hawks this season. 66 carries for 300 yards and a touchdown. And right there, he's able to pick up a couple more, setting up a short 3rd and 3.
Blue Hawks stay in that straight T formation. The give, Matt Walsh wants to turn the corner. He's got the first down, and Matt Walsh is going to go all the way for a touchdown. This will be 6.
Great.
64-yard touchdown run. He did it last week against Trinity Bend, and Walsh does it again this week.
Yeah, last week it was on the first offensive play of the day for the Blue Hawks. Today it's on a 3rd and 3 from their own 36-yard line. He's able to take the ball and get around the outside, and there just wasn't anybody there from the Cardinals to contain him. He goes a whopping 64 yards for the touchdown, 6-0 Exeter.
Matt Walsh, once again, gives the Blue Hawks a big boost here in the first quarter. Extra point by Matt Dolly. Walsh will hold. This kick's on its way, and we're going to score it. Make it 7-0 here in the first quarter in the Division II championship game. The Blue Hawks, on their first series of plays, get the first score of the day.
Well, defense is going to be a very big part of this game today. Exeter has shut out 6 opponents on the season. The Bishop Girton doesn't have a stingy defense themselves, if they've been able to shut out 3 teams. On average, though, Exeter only gives up 6 points a game. Bishop Girton gives up nearly 12.
On the corner, that Exeter line just opened up an alley for Walsh, Ben, and when he just turned the corner, no one was going to catch him. Everybody from Girton got caught inside that time.
Yeah, they were looking for something that would just be right up into the middle, and they were trying to stuff the play right at the line of scrimmage, but there wasn't anybody to contain the outside play. Walsh took advantage and just made a nice run, able to keep his footing on this slick field. And that extra point could prove to be very important, because on a day like this, it's going to be tough to make those kicks. Last weekend, in a very muddy field conditions, Exeter did not have a single extra point in 3 attempts.
While the snow has let up here at Eustis Field, the wind has picked up now as Matt Harrow's second kick is a driving kick, heads toward the end zone, and it's another touchback. And the Exeter kicker, Matt Harrow, has had 2 into the end zone.
Well, they really don't want the kick returner, Matty O'Hearn, number 32, to pick it up for Girton on a kickoff return, because he can make anything happen on any play. He's got great breakaway speed. He's a great receiving threat. Just unfortunately with these weather conditions, we don't know if we're going to be able to see him today. Saw him last week against Dover make a couple nice plays to break away from the coverage, but the ball wasn't thrown to him. But that's somebody Exeter has to look out for.
8:53 to go in the first quarter. Exeter leads 7-0. The give is to Antista right up the middle, but there's no room there, as the Exeter defensive line on a big charge up front makes the stop, and big Eric Paquette was the first man there. Paquette, a 295-pound senior.
Antista, trying to find some room, was able to get a tough yard out of it, setting up a 2nd and 9. 8:30 to go here in the first quarter with the Blue Hawks up 7-0. The Girton line really has to block well today if they're going to give Antista some holes to punch through.
Ends in tight. Antista off tackle, gets back to the line of scrimmage, falls forward, and it's Paquette again making the tackle. Eric Paquette had a strong game when the Blue Hawks beat Bishop Girton in Nashua. Final regular season game, Blue Hawks came out on top 14-0, and they lead 7-0 right now.
Yeah, this is a rematch of a game just a couple of weeks ago. If Girton had won that game, they may have been able to knock Exeter out of the tournament. Instead, they find themselves playing in Exeter now for the state championship. One of these schools is going to have a long championship drought come to an end today.
Mike Riley now is split to the far side. It's 3rd down and 5 for the Cardinals. Lozo, quick pitch. Antista's going to throw. Has a man, and it's intercepted by Exeter. The Blue Hawks will get the ball inside the 30-yard line. And the interception's by Brian Gorski.
Well, not a bad idea by Girton there. They want to do something to try to shake up the Exeter defense. Unfortunately for the Cardinals, Exeter defenseman able to get in front of it and able to take it down inside the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 now for Exeter at Girton's 24. Exeter now threatening again to add a couple more points to this lead.
First turnover of the game on this muddy, slick field goes against the Cardinals, and it's an interception by Gorski. Feldman goes off tackle. Nate Feldman, nice defensive charge by Girton to stop him after a gain of about 3 yards. First there was Matt Hayes.
Nate Feldman, number 34, another big contributor to this Exeter Blue Hawk offense this season, as he carried the ball 104 times for 630 yards, and he ran in for 8 touchdowns himself.
Exeter's running game. Last week they threw just one pass on a 2-point conversion that was incomplete. They don't want to throw. Bartell, Walsh, who scored the touchdown, will pick up 2 or 3 tough yards off tackle, where he's stopped there by Sean Delaney. And Bob Powers also on the stop.
Well, we're back in that third down situation where Girton got burned last time. Exeter now they'll be setting up for a third and what looks to be about 6 from the 20.
Out over the ball for the Blue Hawks, number 74, center Bill Richards. Now they come out in a wing T formation with Graham and Walsh in the backfield. Matt Walsh is going to turn the corner again. Tries to run by Seamus Brackett and Matt O'Hearn, and he'll be shy of the first down. Nice job that time by Brackett.
Yeah, that time they were looking for it, and the Girton was able to get a couple of their cornerbacks down to contain Walsh. Picked up about 3 yards on the play, but that's going to leave the Blue Hawks at 4th and 3. But this field position, not a good day to be trying to kick, so they'll probably be going for it.
Ball at the 16-yard line. They will not go for the field goal attempt. They will go for the first down. Burbank and Graham in the backfield. Walsh is the tailback. Chris Bartell, the quarterback, sends Burbank in motion, but now 2 players moved. And this play is going to be a legal procedure against the Hawks.
Yeah, tough break right there, as in crossing over, bumping into number 33, Brian Burbank. That'll back up the Blue Hawks 5 yards. What was a 4th and 3 is now going to become a 4th and 8 from the 21-yard line. They have to get to the 14 or so for the first down. It's going to be tough on a field like this today.
The Division II High School Championship under adverse conditions, to say the least. We've had snow most of the day. Bartell going to go back to pass, looking for the end zone, and there'll be nobody there. A bunch of Cardinal defenders, and the Hawks tried to cross up the Cardinals with a pass, but Bishop Girton did a great job on defense that time, covering Jamie Soller.
Yeah, there were just Bishop Girton jerseys all around, and not a bad play for Exeter, because if they don't get it, it's either going to become incomplete, or if Girton actually intercepts that ball, they might end up having the ball pinned near the goal line. As it is, it's an incomplete pass. 1st and 10 now for the Cardinals from the 22.
Bishop Girton's offense now. They've stayed in their end of the field here in the first quarter with 5:20 left to go. Todd Lozo off tackle. They're trying to get John Antista untacked. Tries to break tackles, but he's going to be stopped by Jamie Soller. And Matt Walsh. Walsh, number 21, coming in to make that stop on Antista.
Yeah, they're doing a great job on Antista right now. Antista's 5'8", 170 pounds, and he can be generally pretty tough to bring down. As I mentioned before, he ran for over 1,000 yards this year. Exeter so far doing a great job. Stop him after a gain of 1. 2nd and 9 now from the 22.
Exeter defensive line. A 4-4 defense right now, expecting the run from the Cardinals on this 2nd down and 10. Antista, Jamie Soller was in the backfield along with number 33, Brian Burbank.
It looks like it's getting to that point in time where Exeter's just going to be keying on Antista, so they may want to try to get Matt O'Hearn involved a little bit more in the offense. Even though the field conditions don't make it great for passing situations, you may want to try to swing it over to Matty, see what happens.
I guess, Ben, as a player, you're playing in the state title game. There's a mini snowstorm going on. Does it get any better than this?
This is what I like to see. I know. As soon as I found out the game was going to be played today in snow, my day was made.
And there's a bunch of players jumping right now, and our officials will have to sort this out on a 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, this could be tough for you. It is. It's going to be an illegal procedure against the Cardinals. And what was already a very difficult third and about 9.5 is going to be nearly 3rd and 15. And they don't want to get locked down into this battle of field position against Exeter, because if Exeter can play a game of field position, they'll usually win.
4 minutes left to go in the quarter. Now it's 3rd down and 15 deep in their own territory. Todd Lozo, the quarterback, goes right off tackle, and there's nobody there. Alan Merriam, number 51, was there first. And the inside running game of Girton is being stuffed here in the first quarter by the Blue Hawks.
Yeah, Exeter just doing a great job of jumping off the line and pushing into the backfield of the Cardinals. Antista there loses a couple of yards. It's now a 4th and 16, and Bishop Girton forced to punt.
Eric Boutwell ready to put his foot into the ball. Oh, a high snap. He goes up and gets it. A great athletic play by Boutwell, and he gets off a good kick. Fair catch by Burbank at midfield. That would have been disastrous for the Cardinals, but Boutwell made a nice play right there with 3:20 left to go in the quarter.
Good job by Boutwell to bring that down. This could be a game that also might be influenced greatly by turnovers. That first interception, though, that was thrown by Antista, in which Exeter intercepted it. They didn't get burned on that one. In any case, Exeter now 1st and 10 from Girton's 49-yard line.
Certainly early in the game, Girton coach Tony Johnson not wanting to gamble deep in his own territory. Bartell, the quarterback. Here's Walsh on the sweep, and he'll get no yardage that time as number 42, J.D. Lorimore, was in the backfield.
Yeah, J.D. Lorimore, one of the key players for this Girton team. Tight end, 6'1", 194-pound senior. Not only does he play good defense, as you just saw right there, he's a standout tight end.
And for your meteorological update, we have a swirling wind right now. Sometimes it's moving across the field, sometimes north to south, east to west. So if you're going to throw the ball, it will be a factor. 2nd down and long, right up the middle. The Blue Hawk running back, Scotty Graham, gets over the 45, down to the 43. He'll be shy of the first down by about 2. Tackle made by Josh Jerry of Girton.
Nice job by Exeter right there. They do a little play action that makes the play look like it's going to go wide. Instead, it was just the quick handoff to Graham, and he takes it right up the middle for about 5 yards, it looks like, after the spot. So it's going to be a 3rd and 5 now from the 43-yard line.
And now a double wing set for the Blue Hawks. The only setback is Graham. Now he sends in motion Nate Fellman. Fellman tries to turn the corner, won't get there, as number 42, Lorimore again, makes the big stop, so it's 3 and out for the Blue Hawks.
Really, we've seen some pretty good defense today by the Cardinals. Right there, they stop Fellman on a gain of about 2. Setting up now a 4th and 3 or 4th and 4, and the Blue Hawks forced to punt.
Burbank is the punter, gets the kick away. Nick Nugent will watch it roll, head for the end zone. Will it get into the end zone? We'll look for the whistle, and no, it's downed inside the 10-yard line.
Good play by Exeter to get down there and get down to the punt to cover it up, as the Girton Cardinals now are going to be lined up in the end zone trying to work the ball out of this dangerous situation. 1st and 10 from probably what looks to be about the 1-inch line. Great job by the Blue Hawks on that punt.
My goodness, it can't get much closer, as the ball will push Bishop Girton inside the 1-yard line, 99 yards away, and the Cardinals will operate from their own end zone.
1:35 to go here in the first quarter with Exeter up 7-0.
Lozo needs to make sure he handles the ball cleanly here, right up the middle, into the middle of the Exeter offensive line. Paquette, Miriam, Soller, all there in the pile right now to stop the Girton running back, John Antista.
Antista just trying to give his team a little bit of breathing room to try to operate from this dangerous spot on the field. That was for a very little gain, so we'll call it 2nd and 10 from the 1. Dangerous set of plays coming up for the Cardinals.
1:06 on the clock. Exeter leads 7-0 on a 64-yard touchdown run by Matt Walsh. Power I formation. Lozo sets his team. It's Antista, tries to turn the corner, gets over the 5-yard line. Bill Ball wants to call timeout here, Ben, to get his team some good field position on this 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, we've got 44 seconds to go now in this first quarter. They have a chance to hold the Girton Cardinals here to a 4th down, forcing them to punt and really give the Blue Hawks some great position to start their next drive.
From your own end zone against the wind. That would be a big, big punt in this situation with 44 seconds on the clock. Taking a look at the regular season, Bishop Girton, the 4th-ranked team coming into this championship contest, beat Dover in the semifinals 14-13. They came on strong at the end of the year for 4th-year head coach Tony Johnson. For the Blue Hawks, they knocked off Trinity last week 18-0. For Coach Bill Ball, his club in the finals last year, Ben, lost to Dover.
Yeah, that was a tough game in which they lost 21-3. Dover was just so overpowering last year. But Exeter answered the call, and they're right back in this game this year, here to face a Girton squad that hasn't been in the title game since 1975. That was their 6th year in a row, actually, at that point, when they won 4 titles back in the early 70s.
On the Exeter sideline, you see the Blue Hawks right there, hoping that their defense can stop the Cardinals on this 3rd down and 7 from the 4-yard line. Girton at their own 4. There's only 44 seconds left to go in the quarter, and the Blue Hawks just called a timeout, hoping to have Girton punt against the wind. But for Girton, they are hoping that they can pick up the needed 7 yards here for a 1st down. Antista in the end zone. Let's see. Is it going to be 2 points? We're waiting for the call.
I think I saw the referee put his hands up for 2, and there it is on the board.
It is.
9-0 now as they tackle Antista in the end zone, get 2 more points. Blue Hawks now 9-0 with 39 seconds here to go in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, you see an excited Exeter sideline right there, rooting on the defense as the defense scores 2 points to make it 9-0 on that safety. And Antista tried to turn the corner, but he was corralled in the end zone. And a 9-0 Blue Hawk lead, and they will get the ball back on the free kick.
Exeter does have an offense that works in all seasons, and they got a good practice last week, having to play down there in Manchester, what was a very muddy field and a couple of lakes on it, if I remember correctly. And although Bishop Girton played on Saturday after that Friday snowstorm, they actually had a pretty good field, as Dover did a great job of clearing it up. So Girton may have to get themselves readjusted to these type of field positions. Right now they find themselves down in a 9-0 hole.
They will kick from the tee. It will be Boutwell, kicking it. And back deep for the Blue Hawks are Brian Burbank, Matt Walsh, and Steve Kobzik. 9-0, Blue Hawks lead. Driving kick, Scott Graham picks it up at the 45. Scott Graham goes right into the middle of the pile, gets over midfield, down to the 45-yard line of Girton, and Exeter will start this series in Girton territory.
Well, the Exeter Blue Hawk defense coming up big once again. They've been able to shut down Antista all day long, and that time they were able to force a safety and get the ball back in great field position once again to start a drive. 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line for the Blue Hawks.
Wind and snow on this November afternoon as we are playing the Division II High School Championship. Exeter leads 9-0. Bartell on the quarterback option, pulls up the pass. Scott Graham wide open, and Graham will go all the way for a touchdown. This will be 6. A 44-yard touchdown pass from Chris Bartell to a wide open Scott Graham, and the Blue Hawks open up a 15-0 lead.
What a great call by Coach Bill Ball. Exeter is known for just running the ball. And what do they do on the first play after the safety? They just put one over the middle into Graham's arms. He breaks away from one tackle, and he runs it into the corner for a touchdown. 15-0 now for the Blue Hawks with 21 seconds to go here in the 1st quarter. What a great call by Coach Ball.
You couldn't script it up any better for Exeter as the point after is up and good by Matt Dolly to make it 16-0 Blue Hawks.
I'm sure you can hear the crowd who are sitting behind the home fans, and they're whooping it up. But Girton fans, don't be disheartened yet at this point. As you see some of the T-shirt wonders here at Exeter High School. Last weekend, Girton found themselves down to Dover 13-0 at the end of the first quarter, and they came back and won that game. So it's not quite over yet here from Eustis Field.
That's a good point, Ben. This Girton Cardinal team could have really folded up last week against Dover, and they didn't do it. So this game is far from over, although the Blue Hawks have run out to a big 16-0 lead, and I agree with you. That was a great call. If I'm Girton, I'm thinking run all the way on a 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line.
Yeah, I saw something earlier. Bartel, he hasn't thrown the ball that much at all this year, so it's just something he wouldn't expect unless Exeter finds themselves in a situation where they need to throw the ball to try to get themselves back into a game.
Bartel did a good job on the play-action fake, rolled to the outside, got some good coverage, and was able to find Graham, who was wide open. He made one cut to the outside, and then it was a clear alley right to the end zone.
Yeah, we've seen some great open field running today by Graham and Walsh.
Perot's kick. This will be run back by Matt O'Hearn. He takes it at the 10-yard line. On the reverse, he gives it to Grant Webb, and Webb will be stopped at the 10-yard line. Jamie Soller is there. Brian Burbank is there. And a fellow who had some big hits last week, Steve Kobzik.
Yeah, he had the initial hit that brought him down. On O'Hearn looked like he might have had a little bit of running room here to the left, but instead hands it off. Girton ends up losing yardage on that reverse play. It's going to be 1st and 10 now from the 10-yard line. Once again, the Cardinals find themselves pinned deep.
Bill Ball, hatless, coatless, in this snowstorm today. Lozo, the quarterback for the Cardinals, sets his team. They've had awful field position all day long. Off tackle, it goes to Antista. And getting up off the bottom of the pile for the Hawks is number 62. That's Brian Barbado.
Well, short gain. The clock is stopped at the moment while they get the ball uncovered, but that'll be probably... Nope, Exeter calls a timeout with 5 seconds here to go in the first quarter.
Bill Ball wants to head out into the huddle and talk with his defense right now with a 16-0 lead. Blue Hawks, Ben, this year have given up about 6 points a game.
Yeah, just great defense all year long. 6 shutouts, and in fact, I think right now they're in a shutout streak of 3 games, 4 shutouts in the last 5 games. That one game that they didn't shut out the opponent, I believe, was against Alvern, and they won that one 40-21. Just great defense all year.
Field position is so important for the Cardinals. They like to spread the field, have a wide open offense. But when you're tucked inside your 20-yard line like they've been the whole first quarter, not much you can do.
Girton's going to run themselves, kind of running into a problem at the moment because they're going against a great defense that gives up 6 points a game. And on average, Girton only scores about 18 points a game. So they really need to shut Exeter out the rest of the way.
2nd down and 8. Off tackle, Antista, and he runs into another crowd of folks. He cannot get past that line of scrimmage here in the first quarter as time runs out, and Exeter has had a big first quarter here at Eustis Field today, leading the Bishop Girton Cardinals by a score of 16-0. I'm Sam Bruno along with Ben Cloutier. We'll be back with more of the Division II championship game right after this. Today's game is brought to you by Man Style Market Square, where you can experiment with your image as little or as much as you dare. 10 Congress Street, downtown Portsmouth. Ben's Photo, they do color print, slides, and black and white processing, as well as camera repairs and video transfers. They're located at 153 Water Street, downtown Exeter. The Exeter Candy Company, 3rd generation of candy makers in our hometown. They make the season sweet. 143 Water Street in Exeter. New England Pizza Restaurant, 92 Portsmouth Ave, where you can get pizza and more delivered to Stratham, Exeter, and parts of Newfields. Call them at 778-9800. The Pepsi Company at 125 Ocean Road in Greenland. They're in a league of their own. Nothing else is a Pepsi. And thanks to all of our sponsors for making this production possible. Stay tuned to this channel for Jones Jazz Jam and the Governor's Press Conference. All set for the first play of the second quarter. The Bishop Girton Cardinals in the white shirts with the ball, and their running game continues to be stymied. On a 3rd down and 7, they'll have to punt once again, Ben Cloutier.
Yeah, in that first corner, they just did a great job of bottling up Antista, as Antista carried the ball 11 times, only got 14 yards, also threw 1 interception and got tackled for a safety.
Exeter leads 16-0. Eric Boutwell now will be kicking from, it looks like, his own 5-yard line. Last time he got a really high snap. This one's going to be a good one. And this kick is going to be short. It's going to hit at about the 45-yard line, but takes a good Girton roll into Exeter territory at the 40, where Exeter will start 1st and 10 in their own territory. But they've got a 16-0 lead at the end of 1.
Yeah, that was about a 46-yard punt right there by the Girton Cardinals, which will set up the 1st and 10 for Exeter. They had a very good first quarter led by Walsh, who ran the ball 4 times for a total of 70 yards. Of course, he had that one long touchdown run of 64 yards, but a couple nice long plays that set up the 16-0 lead to start the second.
The Girton defense needing to dig in right now, trailing 16-0. The Blue Hawk offense will grind it out. Graham right up the middle gets over the 40-yard line to the 43. That was a play that was effective last week against Trinity. The stop was made by Girton's Jim McGinnis.
Just a lot of misdirection coming out of that Exeter backfield. They have 3 guys back there. They all running different directions, and just a quick handoff. It really leaves the defense guessing as to which way the ball is going to go.
Girton putting 9 men within 5 yards of the ball. Fellman off tackle is ripped down to the ground on a big defensive play by number 67, Nick Chaput.
And Fellman gets a couple yards out of it. It's going to be a 3rd and 6 now from about the 45-yard line.
There you see Nick Chaput right there. He's a leader of this Cardinal defense, 6'2", 220 pounds, and he was immense in the middle that time against Fellman. Ball at the 44-yard line now. 3rd down and 6. Bartell, second man through. That's going to be Fellman driving toward the stick, but he won't get there. The Cardinals are able to hold as Eric Boutwell was able to bring him down and hang on to Nate Fellman.
Looks like it's going to be about a 4th and 2, Sam, from about the 49-yard line. Exeter's own 49, and they will be punt. Well, they're lining up anyway in punt formation. But with a 16-0 lead and what Girton was able to do last week coming back against Dover, I'm sure they just want to get the ball pinned deep again against the Cardinals.
Brian Burbank's kick, a driving kick. Nugent will watch it hit, and he will run away from it as the ball will go down to about the 20-yard line, and that's where Girton will start 1st and 10. So a little bit better field position for Bishop Girton, but it's been that kind of half so far, as getting close to midfield has been an adventure for the Nashua Ball Club.
Well, the advantage that Bishop Girton has for them at the moment is, although they find themselves down by 16 points, they do have what win there is, and it's a pretty decent one at their back. So it may be a little bit easier for them to try to get Matt O'Hearn involved in a passing game out there at the wideout position.
A number of games were canceled today because of the weather, but a big effort by the Exeter ground crew got this field in shape to play this Division II championship game in the snow. Off tackle, Antista, only a couple. That's about it. Tim Warnock gets off the bottom of the pile. Alan Miriam is there. They've been there all afternoon so far, along with Rich Collins.
Well, so far today it's been pretty easy for the Exeter defense because every single time just about they've been giving the ball to Antista, so it allows 8 of the Blue Hawks to just go right after that running back. Girton needs to see what they can do to try to spread this offense out a bit. They like to try to get some more players involved, including their tight end, J.D. Larimore.
Antista is the tailback in the power I formation right now. 2nd down and 8. Lozo's going to throw it. Goes over the middle. It's going to be incomplete. Good coverage that time on number 14, Grant Webb, by Matt Walsh and Brian Gorski.
Not a bad idea there. They're trying to get the defense of Exeter to spread out a little bit, try to open up some more room inside for their big running back Antista. It may take another play or two like that to really loosen up the Blue Hawk defense, and it'll definitely take at least them making one of those type of plays.
Good point there, Ben. It's important that they mix up their offense because the Exeter defense is keying on Antista, their 1,000-yard rusher. Now it's 3rd down and 8. Ball is inside the 25-yard line. Lozeau on the draw. Antista breaks the tackle in the open field, gets over the 25 to about the 27, but he'll be shy of a first down, and Girton will be forced to kick again.
Yeah, Antista found a little bit of room to run through. It's just tough on a day like this to be making the cuts he was trying to make. Got about 4 yards on the carry, setting up now a 4th and 2, but the Cardinals once again are forced to punt the ball off to the Blue Hawks.
Boutwell ready, looking for a good snap and gets it. He'll get the kick away. He has the wind at his back. This one heads toward the sideline and takes a great Bishop Girton bounce inside the 35 to the 33. So the kicking game has been strong for Girton here in the first half with 8:16 to go.
Now, one of the things we talked about before the game was how the field conditions may affect the kicking game itself, but the Cardinals have done a good job on their snaps for the most part and some really good kicks, putting the Blue Hawks a little further back. Just a good job of punting today so far by the Cardinals.
Exeter leads 16-0. The big plays, a 64-yard run by Matt Walsh and a 44-yard touchdown pass from Chris Bartell to Scott Graham. 1st and 10, Bartell goes right up the middle. This is Graham. Graham over to the 38-yard line, and that's about it, as the Cardinal defense is playing much better in this second quarter against the run. Boutwell is there, as well as number 65, 64, Josh Jerry is in there.
Same thing happened last week. They gave up some quick points to Dover, and then the defense really stiffened up starting in the second quarter, and they only allowed the Dover Green Wave offense and Hay and Dodier to get 67 more yards on the day. Cardinals hoping for the same thing today.
Matt Walsh is hitting the backfield. He'll only get back to the line of scrimmage. Checking the player who made that initial charge, it was number 66, Matt Hayes, who did a great job. This is the Division II championship today against the 3rd-ranked Exeter Blue Hawks and the 4th-ranked Bishop Girton Cardinals. Exeter looking for their first state championship since 1965. The Cardinals won last in 1975. Bartell, off tackle it goes this time. There's some running room for Feldman. Feldman refuses to go down, and the first down will depend on the spot.
It's going to be very close. Feldman doing a lot of what we saw last week and the other times we've seen him this year. Just keep those legs pumping away. He's very tough to bring down. Looks like he found the first down marker, and we had a lot of measurements last week, Sam.
And they're going to bring the chains out this time, Ben, all the way across the field, as our officials doing a good job today on a snowy, wet field here at Eustis Field in Exeter with 6:57 left to go. This will be very close to see if the Blue Hawks will keep their drive alive.
Well, like I said, for the most part, the Girton defense has really stiffened up since that first touchdown. Really, they've only been burned on 2 plays. Other than those 2 big plays, which did lead to 14 points. But they've done a good job of stopping Exeter for the most part. It's just one letdown that's really allowed the Exeter Blue Hawks to gain a lead. And they get the first down, 1st and 10 now, for the Blue Hawks from about the 44-yard line.
Our Media One cameras right there on the spot. Certainly hats off to our crew today who's out there in the elements, braving the elements here at Eustis Field, but there are hardy souls. Everyone was kind of up before the game about this. I don't think the snow deterred a lot of people from not coming, as we've got a full house at Eustis Field. Matt Walsh off tackle, breaks a couple of tackles, and will take 3 or 4 white shirts to bring him down and wrestle him to the ground after a gain of only 2.
That's great football weather, gets people excited. Plays. I mean, now in the modern day, the NFL, you got all these domes. Like, this is what football's about, a little snow, a little mud. Setting up now a 2nd and 6 now for Exeter as they are nearing the 50-yard line.
Initial gain by 2 for Walsh, but then he struggled for 2 more. Right in front of us here at Eustis Field on this 2nd and 6. Chris Bartell up the middle to Graham. Graham runs right into traffic, and he'll get a couple of tough yards. A big initial charge that time by Matt Hayes for Girton.
Good job of getting around the line and hauling down the running back there after a gain of just a couple. 3rd and 3 now. They've moved inside Girton territory as the ball is resting on the 48.
James Roy splits to the far side. Girton puts 9 people in the box. Off tackle of Walsh. Walsh bangs forwards, got the first down. Matt Walsh got a nice block off tackle and got a good hole and was able to go forward for 4 yards, and that's going to be good enough for a first down.
Gets the 4 yards. He knew where the first down marker was, and he got to that point, no problem, fell forward just to make sure they would call it a first down. 1st and 10 now from the 45-yard line as the Blue Hawks now find themselves on a pretty good-looking drive.
Barbado and Warnock that time opened up the hole for Walsh. Ball at the 45-yard line right now as we approach the 5-minute mark left to go until intermission. Graham on the draw, up the middle. Oh, look at him fight for a few more yards as he's...
There's a flag on the field, Sam. They may be calling holding on this one, bringing that one back.
Graham got a huge hole that time, Ben, and that's probably why. It would have been a gain of 10, almost a first down, and it is a hold against the Blue Hawks. So our first major penalty of the day goes against Exeter.
Just when they got a good drive moving here and got another nice carry by Graham, it's going to bring the ball probably close to the 45-yard line of the Blue Hawks. We'll wait to see where they spot the ball.
In the first meeting between these two clubs, Exeter won a couple of weeks ago, 14-0, in a game that Girton head coach Tony Johnson said his team came out really flat, and Blue Hawks came up sky high because they needed a win.
Yeah, they knew they had to win if they were going to get into the tournament, and Girton already knew they were into the Division II playoffs, so they came out a little bit flat. Exeter was able to take advantage, 14-0 win, and they were rewarded with home field advantage for the state championship game.
First down and 18 for the Blue Hawks now. They keep it on the ground. The Cardinals defense that run nicely as J.D. Lorimore is there, as well as Matt Johansson for the Girton Cardinals.
Short gain, gets the ball just back inside the 50, setting up now a 2nd and 15. They need to get down to the 35-yard line for the first down.
Hawks running away from number 55, Seamus Brackett, the fine linebacker for the Cardinals. Now they give the ball to Walsh. Walsh cuts back inside, and there's no running room there. As the white-shirted, soon-to-be muddy-shirted Cardinals make the stop that time, led by Matt Hayes, Josh Jarry, and Seamus Brackett.
Not a bad 4-yard carry there by Walsh. Unfortunately, when you got 15 yards to go, it doesn't help a whole lot. 3rd and 11 now. Clock down to 4 minutes to go here in the first half. The Blue Hawks with the 16-0 lead over Girton.
Blue Hawks now need to get to the 35-yard line for a first down. Bartel gives it to the third man, and there's not going to be any running room on the end around for Nate Feldman. And that's a big emotional play for the Girton Cardinals as they stand firm and make the big stop there. It was Lorimore as well as number 51, Bob Powers.
Yeah, Bob Powers got out there and it really changed the running position. Ended up getting a pretty nice loss out of it, setting up what looks to be about a 4th and 18, and the Blue Hawks forced a punt.
Brian Burbank, almost gets blocked, and this is going to be roughing the kicker. Burbank got creamed that time by Girton's number 64, Josh Jarry, and this one's going to come back.
Well, unfortunate for the Cardinals as they were very near a blocked punt in that situation. Same thing happened last week in their semifinal game against the Green Wave. Nearly blocked a punt but got called for roughing. They will come after the punter, and they have been rewarded from time to time, but not this time, and be an automatic first down for Exeter.
Girton trying for the big block that time to turn this game around. Exeter's been in control here in the first half, leading 16-0. But the roughing the kicker call will give the Exeter offense the ball back.
That's going to give them the 1st and 10. Marking the ball off now, it'll take it somewhere near the 40-yard line of the Cardinals. Looks to be about, it'll be inside the 40, down to about 39.
And it will be a first down for the Blue Hawks. Personal foul roughing the kicker against the Girton Cardinals.
And a good job going on right now by Exeter by retaining possession of the ball. They've already had it for a few minutes, and we're down to 3 minutes or so to go here in the first half, and it's really taking away any time Girton may have left to try to score.
Bartell, Graham, Scott Graham up the middle. Graham's on the loose. Scott Graham heading toward the end zone, and he's pulled down inside the 10. A touchdown saving tackle by Mike Riley, but on the fullback draw, Scott Graham will give the Blue Hawks first and goal at the 8-yard line.
What a great job. Graham found the open lane, and he just went. That's the second time he's found himself in the open field today. This time, though, there was a defender to bring him down to make the touchdown saving tackle, but he gets the ball to about the 8-yard line, first and goal.
2:54 on the clock. Bartell turns. This is Fellman. Fellman gets to the 5-yard line. Falls forward to, it looks like, about the 3. And will spot the ball inside the 5, and that was Fellman running hard. Boutwell was there. Mike Riley was there. And also for the Cardinals, Warren Gorlowski. Exeter jumps out of the huddle, runs back to the line. Fellman one more time, driving toward the end zone. Looking for an official's call. The Hawks won't get it. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 1.
Good drive. They've been able to just do a little power running here, the Blue Hawks have, and now they got the ball down in close, setting up the 3rd and goal from about the 1.5. Exeter already with a 16-0 lead, 1:49 to go here in the second quarter.
Bartell gives it to Fellman. Fellman turns the corner. Oh, a big play by the Cardinals as he can't get around the end, and he won't get there. Number 64, Josh Jerry, makes the defensive play of the game for the Cardinals to stop Nate Fellman, and it's going to bring up 4th down, and he looks like he got knocked down to about the 5-yard line, Ben.
Yeah, loss of about 4 yards, some good penetration that time by the Cardinals. A very big play for Bishop Girton right now if they want to have a chance to stay in this ball game. They're already down by 16 points, and they cannot afford to go down by another score. Exeter now will use their final timeout of this first half to try to set up what they hope to be will be a touchdown scoring play.
Now you're up 16-0. You have the ball at the 5-yard line. It's 4th down. Do you consider field goal in this situation?
I'd go for it because with 1:11 left, say you make the field goal, then you have to worry about kicking it off, and you might give Girton enough time to do something. At least this way, if they don't make it, they're going to have Girton pinned back inside the 5-yard line. And with the way Exeter's defense plays, well, there's a change of personnel going on out there. Well, I guess you say, if you don't want to take points off the board, I guess.
If you can get 3 and you have a kicker like Matt Dolly, Dolly will try the field goal right now at the 13-yard line. It'll be a 23-yard attempt.
Strike from the record what I just said a moment ago. I never said it.
Walsh will hold, puts it down. Dolly gets the kick away, and it's no good. So you might put a star next to that play as Exeter had the ball. Goal to go at the 1-yard line. Can't punch it in on the 3rd down play and then miss the 4th down field goal. Girton will go into the locker room trailing 16-0, but feeling pretty good about that stop.
A very big set of plays right there for the Cardinals as Exeter did have that 1st and goal. They come up big down in the red zone, preventing Exeter from scoring again. The ball now gets moved out to the 20 where it'd be 1st and 10 for Bishop Girton. 1:06 for them to try to get some points on the board before halftime.
Todd Lozo, Girton quarterback. On the fullback keeper, right up the middle. Not a lot of room right there as Alan Merriam gets up off the pile. Larimore on the carry. And now there's going to be a player down. That's Eric Paquette for Exeter, and he'll be attended to with 54 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, he's a big boy, Eric Paquette, 5'8", 295-pound senior, being helped off right now. Looks to be in some pain. Girton was ready to come to the line, but they have to hold up until they can get Paquette off the field, but they want to make sure he's all right. Clock right now is stopped at 54 seconds. It'll be second and about 8 once they are able to get this play started.
Exeter scored 2 touchdowns today, one on a 64-yard run by Matt Walsh and a 44-yard touchdown pass from Scott Graham from Chris Bartell. They also registered a safety, and that's where we are, 16-0. 54 seconds left to go in the half, and it's first, check that, second down and 8 for Bishop Girton from their own 22-yard line. We've had a steady snow all during the first half. Lozo, stand-up pass. Grant Webb, he'll get a couple of yards, and that's about it. Merriam is there as well as Kobzik for the Blue Hawks.
Going to set up about a 3rd and 5 to get able to get a little swing pass, but not able to find any open room. Gets taken down at about the 26-yard line, so call it a 3rd and 4. 23 seconds on the clock and rolling.
Lozo sets his team. Back to pass, looks out into the flat, gets it out to O'Hearn, and he's out of bounds. He's got a first down.
Matt O'Hearn, he touches the ball for the first time today on offense. Able to get about 10 yards out of it, giving the Cardinals a new first down. They are 11 seconds left on the clock with about 65 yards for a touchdown.
A completed pass, a big defensive stop. Who knows what the Cardinals can do here in the second half. You said it earlier, Ben. They were down 13-0 to Dover last week, and Bishop Girton came back to win that game 14-13. First down and 10. Lozo's looking for the pass. Gets it to O'Hearn. On the hook and ladder, he gives it to Riley. Riley's still on his feet. Mike Riley is on his feet and still rolling. Look at Mike Riley go down the sidelines. Can he get to the end zone? He's going to dive, and he gets in for the touchdown. Oh, my goodness. On the final play of the first half on the hook and ladder, Mike Riley takes the lateral from O'Hearn and runs about 50 yards himself for a touchdown, and it's 16-6. Hang on, Nelly, we've got a ball game.
What a great play, O'Hearn. He was able to take the ball, catch it, and he ran it. Got about a 15 to 20-yard gain himself before lateraling it off. Great job of running after the lateral. Got some great blocks down the far sideline. That may have been about a 65-yard play, but there was about 100 yards worth of running.
The point after by Bootwell with no time on the clock is good, and the teams head to the locker room in a wild ending to the first half, with Exeter leading 16-7 as on the final play of the first half, the Bishop Girton Cardinals go, Ben, what do you got, 64 yards on that touchdown pass?
64-65, and all 3 touchdowns today have been of the big play variety. We had that huge run in the first quarter by Walsh, and then we had that long pass play that worked out to Graham, and now we had that great play that worked out for the Cardinals that went 65 yards after the lateral and catch made by O'Hearn. And what a turn of events, because we had a great first and goal situation down here that got stuffed by the Cardinals against Exeter, and now they're able to turn right around, and instead of having 7 points scored against them, they get the ball back and they score 7 for themselves.
And a little bit of a surprise with the ball at the 20-yard line and about a minute left to go, the Cardinals come out and start throwing. And I think that surprises the Blue Hawks a little bit.
I think they're going to have to look out for more of that come the second half. They have to stretch out this Exeter defense. Exeter has played great defense in that first half.
And right now, both the Cardinals go into the locker room as an exciting team, Ben. We've had a good first half in this Division II championship game. Stay with us. You're watching the Division II championship on Media One Sports. Today's game is brought to you by Man Style Market Square, where you can experiment with your image as little or as much as you dare. 10 Congress Street, downtown Portsmouth. Ben's Photo, they do color print, slides, and black and white processing, as well as camera repairs and video transfers. They're located at 153 Water Street, downtown Exeter. The Exeter Candy Company, 3rd generation of candy makers in our hometown. They make the season sweet. 143 Water Street in Exeter. New England Pizza Restaurant, 92 Portsmouth Ave, where you can get pizza and more delivered to Stratham, Exeter, and parts of Newfields. Call them at 778-9800. The Pepsi Company at 125 Ocean Road in Greenland. They're in a league of their own. Nothing else is a Pepsi. And thanks to all of our sponsors for making this production possible. Stay tuned to this channel for Jones Jazz Jam. Welcome back to Eustis Field in Exeter. I'm Sam Bruno along with Ben Cloutier, and we're all set for the second half of today's Division II semifinals. There you see the score, but the biggest play of the game, Ben, came on the last play of the game, which was a tremendous run by Mike Riley, but we've had a game of big plays.
Yeah, we've had 3 touchdowns today, and so far all 3 of them come of the big play variety. And Exeter, to start off the game, they had a quick couple of plays before giving the ball right here. As you can see, Matt Walsh, he got inside a couple of would-be tacklers, got a big block there from his teammate number 58 before running down the sideline and in for the touchdown, and that got Exeter very quickly on the board, 7-0 in just a couple minutes or so into the game.
And now with the last play coming up of the ball game with 11 seconds left to go, watch this one. Put this on your highlight reel at home as Lazo passes the ball to O'Hearn, and O'Hearn on the hook and ladder gives it to Mike Riley. And look at some of these crack back blocks coming up here by Girton to knock down Exeter tacklers, and Riley goes 50 yards himself for the touchdown. 16-7. We're all set for the second half. Matt Harrow will kick off for the Blue Hawks. It comes down to O'Hearn, 20-25. Matt O'Hearn gets up over the 30-yard line, and we'll get to the 32, and that's where Girton will start. 1st and 10, very big series for the Cardinals, as there was a huge momentum swing in the final minute of this game.
Cardinals, on that last drive they threw the ball each time. Hopefully that'll spread out the Exeter defense just a little bit more. And when we have a moment, I'll touch on a couple of the first half stats. Still
a snow-rain combination here at Eustis Field as we begin the second half. Todd Lozo still at quarterback. Antista, who's been quiet today, gets the call off tackle. And the Blue Hawk defense, they have shut down that play all day long.
Yeah, Antista has been quiet. How quiet, you may wonder? Well, I got him down as 15 carries for a grand total of 23 yards. Definitely not what he's used to, as he usually gets about 5 yards a carry. Matt O'Hearn got 2 catches for the Cardinals, and those were the last 2 plays of the first half. He got 30 yards on those 2 catches before lateraling that last one off for a 50-yard rumble by Mike Riley for the touchdown.
Grant Webb split to the near side as we're just underway in the second half. Lozo, quarterback option, pitches it outside, and Exeter gets the ball on the fumble recovery. It's still up for grabs. No, it's going to go to Girton.
Well, the scrum underneath the pile was won by the Cardinals. It definitely looked like that the Blue Hawks had taken possession away on that missed pitch. It will set up a long 3rd down play now, though. It'll be about 3rd and 15 from the 26-yard line. A tough break there for the Cardinals, but a good break because they got the ball back.
Nick Chaput was able to get that ball back, as on this wet and rainy and snowy day, when you start throwing and pitching the ball around, a lot can happen, and some of it, a lot of it, can be bad. Now it's 3rd down and long. Lozo, the quarterback, sends a man in motion. On the draw, it goes to Antista. Antista, breaking tackles, will get over the 30 to the 33, but only gets back to the line of scrimmage before he's downed by Alan Merriam. And the Hawks will get the ball for the first time in the second half coming up, as Bishop Girton will kick from inside their own 20.
Yeah, it'll be a 4th and 10, about 4th and 9, and Antista was able to get 6 yards, but still forcing the punt.
Boutwell's kick is a high kick, comes down to Walsh at the 35. Matt Walsh breaking a couple of tackles, still on his feet down the sidelines, knocked out of bounds at the 38-yard line by Seamus Brackett.
And another great punt by Boutwell. We've just seen some great punting today by the Cardinal kicker there. Once again, putting Exeter back into their territory, about around the 35-yard line, which has been, if you're a Cardinals fan, it's a better place for Exeter to be starting than where they have been most of the game.
16-7 our score. Blue Hawks have led all the way in this one. We are early in the third quarter. Bartell goes off tackle to Walsh. Walsh following his blockers nicely. Gets up over the 45 to the 46-yard line. Leading the way that time for the Blue Hawks was Nick Graham.
And Matt Walsh in that first half had 8 carries for 82 yards. One of them was a long touchdown run that started off the game of about 55 yards or so.
The Blue Hawk all-weather offense would love to go 60 yards in 10 or 12 plays here, but they are chunking up some yards now off tackle with Matt Walsh. Walsh has got a first down into Cardinal territory at the 46-yard line, tackled there by number 33, Warren Gerlowski.
Another nice run by Walsh. He's found a couple holes on these last couple of plays, some nice blocking, creating the opportunities for Walsh to get through. 1st and 10 now for Exeter at the 46 of the Cardinals.
Blue Hawks looking for their first title in 32 years. Off tackle Feldman. Feldman tries to break to the outside, but a sure-handed tackle by number 59, Jim McGinnis, brings him down. After a gain of 4, it'll bring up a 2nd down and 6.
In the first half, Nate Feldman, he carried the ball also for 8 times. Not quite the success that Walsh had, got 25 yards, but he's a key part to this offense. Exeter now with a 2nd and about 6 from the 42.
Straight T backfield with Walsh, Graham, and Feldman. Bartell, 3rd man through is Walsh. Walsh driving, keeps those legs going, gets close to the first down marker. He'll be shy by about a yard.
Exeter coming out with some pretty good intensity to start the second half on offense as they are plowing the Cardinal line back and getting some good chunks of yardage. In that first half, Exeter only got 4 first downs, and they all came on that last drive in which they were stopped after a 1st and goal. And Girton only made 1 first down in that first half.
3rd down and 3, ball at the 37. It goes to the first man through, and it's going to be good enough for a first down. Scotty Graham.
Graham had a pretty good first half. He caught a 45-yard touchdown pass. That made it 16-0. And now it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Blue Hawks inside the 40, inside the 35.
The Cardinal defense got a great boost from their offense to end the first half, but right now the Cardinal defense needs to stop an Exeter running game, which is chunking up some yards. Bartell, quarterback keeper, hitting the backfield hard and thrown down on a nice defensive play by Matt O'Hearn. Seamus Brackett and also Gerlowski there for the Cardinals. No gain on the play.
We saw Chris Bartell earlier throw a 45-yard touchdown pass to Graham, but on the season he's run the ball 23 times for a total of 220 yards and 4 touchdowns himself, rushing as a quarterback.
There you see some of the fans here at Eustis Field on this snowy Saturday afternoon. Bartell, Walsh picking his way into the linebacker core of the Cardinals. Tippy-toed through, picks up a couple, and that's about it. We'll see where the ball is there. Seamus Brackett now making his presence felt in the Cardinal defensive scheme of things. He's a good one. Seamus Brackett, number 55, a 6', 190-pound junior. 3rd down and 6. Ball at the 30-yard line. In motion, Feldman, Graham. Graham scampers for the first down.
Another nice job by the Exeter offensive line, creating a nice hole on the left side. Graham picked his way through it, got into the secondary, and was hauled down after a gain of about 9 or so. It's going to be 1st and 10 now from the 21.
We saw the running of Graham late in the game, a big factor against Trinity last week. Walsh in the middle of the field. Walsh driving forward, gets a plus yardage, 2, 3, maybe 4 yards.
Time-consuming drive being put on here by Exeter. We are down now under 6 minutes to go in this third quarter. The Blue Hawks find themselves with a 9-point lead. Would like to add on to it because if they can, it'll really put some pressure on that Cardinal offense.
Ball at the 19-yard line. 2nd down and 7. Now a wing T formation for the Blue Hawks. Graham up the middle, and the Cardinal defense stops him for a gain of only a yard. The first hit was by Warren Gerlowski.
Scott Graham is getting a lot of action in this beginning of the second half. That's his third or fourth carry. Third carry so far now in the third quarter. Able to get a couple yards out of it. Going to be a 3rd and 6 now from the 18.
5 minutes left to go in the third period. The Blue Hawks on a ball control drive right now. Walsh turns the corner, gets a yard, falls forward for another yard. Gerlowski is there again. Also for the Cardinals, Bob Powers. And we'll see where they put the ball down. Looks just inside the 15-yard line. We'll put it at the 15. And it's going to be 4th and 5. Blue Hawks will go for it here and try to keep the drive alive. An important early play here in the second half. Bartell fumbles the ball, picks it up himself, and the ball will go over to the Cardinals.
Little miscue on the snap. They're down in a muddy part of the field, so I'm sure the ball was rather slick. Bartell not able to hold on to it, falls down to the ground, and as he covered it up, his knee was down, so that turns the ball over now on that 4th down play to the Cardinals. Going to be 1st and 10 for Bishop Girton at their own 15. They've got a long way to go, but they need to get some points up on the board here quick, as they need to score twice to take the lead from the Blue Hawks.
Last time the Cardinals made a big defensive stop, their team scored a touchdown. Todd Lozo, who threw the ball effectively to end the first half, will go to his tailback, Antista. Antista shut down again. Sala is there, as well as give credit there also, Ben, to number 62, Barbado.
Right. You keep giving the ball into Antista. Get Exeter thinking Johnson's going to keep running the ball. Girton trying to stick with that game plan, but it might be a good time really for them to start opening it up, as they found some success late in the first half and able to get a quick touchdown by throwing the ball.
Now Shane Bognaski in the ball game, Ben. Change in quarterback for Coach Tony Johnson. They try to get Antista outside, and Brian Gorski will have none of it.
Good job of getting around the corner and stopping that play for a loss of nearly 3 or 4 yards, waiting for them to put the ball down. Looks like it's going to be a loss of about 5. So now we're going to have a 3rd down and 12.
Some strategy here, Ben, now, as Coach Johnson for the Cardinals has decided to go with Shane Bognaski, his original starting quarterback, wearing number 7. Grant Webb splits to the near side. O'Hearn splits to the far side. Bognaski is their long ball thrower. 3rd down and 12 on the option. Antista in the open field. John Antista will not get to the first down. He'll only get back to the line of scrimmage. Alan Merriam and Brian Burbank bring him down, and the Cardinals will kick the ball away.
Well, when they got that ball pitched out to Antista, it looked like he had a nice, pretty big hole to run through on the right side, but Exeter quickly closed in on it. Antista only able to gain about 4 yards. 4th and 8 now, Cardinals punting.
Boutwell, high snap, goes up and gets it, and gets off a good high kick. It'll hit at the 30 and take a Girton bounce, and Girton has to check that an Exeter bounce. Girton has to cover it. They're saying it hit an Exeter player. Hang on here. Girton was claiming that it hit an Exeter player, but it's going to go to the Blue Hawks.
Yeah, the Exeter player's not agreeing with the call, but it took kind of a crazy bounce. Girton covers it up. Going to be 1st and 10 now for Exeter at about the 43-yard line of the Cardinals. Good field position for Exeter to start their second drive of the second half.
A rain and snow mix continues here at Eustace Field in Exeter. 16-7 our score. The Blue Hawks have led all the way, and now Exeter will try to start another drive. Their last possession stalled inside the 20. 1st down and 10. Bartell the quarterback. Graham right up the middle. Scott Graham, look out. Graham's going to get to the corner. Scott Graham is going to go in for a touchdown. Scott Graham, 43 yards, and the Blue Hawks lead 22-7.
Once again, Exeter doing a great job of just blasting out a hole in the middle of the Girton line. Graham gets through the hole, and he's able to get past the secondary, eludes one tackle near the end, and he's able to take it into the end zone. The lead now back up to 15 points. Exeter waiting for the extra point.
Matt Walsh will hold. Matt Dolly will kick. It's a fake. Walsh gets the ball over to Burbank. Burbank's going to run in for 2.
Good play there as it takes the lead up to 17 points. 24-7 now Exeter with 2:16 to go here in the third quarter as you watch the Exeter players returning and celebrating back to the sideline. What this 17-point lead does is it makes it 2 touchdowns and a field goal for the Cardinals to get back into this one.
2:16 left to go in the third as the 2-point conversion. The pass from Walsh.
Makes it a 3-score game.
Who played some quarterback last year for Exeter. Throws the pass to Burbank.
So a little experience there. And Exeter just, so far today, we've had 4 touchdowns, and they've all been of the long variety.
Well, Exeter certainly has dominated this third quarter, Ben, with that long drive. The Cardinals stopped them inside the 20. But the Blue Hawks' touchdowns today have all been big ones.
And Graham's having a big day with a 45-yard touchdown pass that he took for a touchdown, and now he just runs one there for 42 yards. He has over 100 yards on the day, all-purpose yards.
Scott Graham, a sophomore. Matt Harrow's kick comes down to O'Hearn at the 10-yard line. O'Hearn is brought down when he gets over the 25-yard line. TJ Jones is there. And also there on the stop for the Blue Hawks was Justin St. Jean. Also making the initial hit was Kevin Warnock.
Well, Exeter right now, offensively, they're at their average points scored. They normally score about 24 points a game, and right now they find themselves with a 24-7 lead. Cardinals taking the ball over, 1st and 10 from the 26 with 2:10 to go here in the third period.
And from the bullpen, Shane Bognaski is in at quarterback right now for the white-shirted Cardinals. Bognaski back to pass, gives it to Antista on the draw. Check that, Mike Riley on the draw. And he's stopped by Tim Warnock.
Little play action in reverse there, dropping back to make it look like he was going to pass, hands it off. Just gets about a half a yard on the play. It's going to be 2nd and nearly 10. And
now Todd Lozo's back in the game, Ben. Didn't know if he was shaken up at all, but Lozo back in. The
tailback trying to
tailback
mess with the defense of Exeter there.
tailback in the eye is Mike Riley. Lozo, quick pitch to Riley. Riley gets control of the ball. Will pick up only a couple of yards as Eric Paquette makes the tackle. And there'll be only the gain of a yard, bring up 3rd down and 7.
Well, with the plays being chosen now by Girton, these running plays, it's keeping the clock moving. Cardinals find themselves down by 17, and the clock is down to about 1:06 now to go here in the third. Exeter in a pretty comfortable position to win their first state title since 1965.
Final minute of the third quarter. Big play here for the Cardinals as they need to keep the drive alive. Lozo, a passing situation, will drop back. Looking over the middle, under pressure. Paquette gets him in his grip, and the pass goes incomplete, but it was Eric Paquette who forced quarterback Todd Lozo to get rid of the ball early.
Yeah, Paquette almost had him, and as they were trying to throw the ball away, he gets dragged down. The ball doesn't go where the quarterback would like. It falls down incomplete. 4th and 8 now, 28-yard line. The Cardinals forced to punt. 43 seconds left to go in the third.
Eric Bootwell gets off a really nice kick. Burbank fair catches at the 42-yard line, and that's where the Blue Hawks will start 1st and 10.
Well, this has been a very swift-moving third period, Sam, which is good news for the Exeter Blue Hawks, as for the 17-point lead, they'd just like to see this game come to an end and wrap up this state championship.
Right now, the Girton defense needing to gamble. You're going to see 9, 10, maybe even 11 players within 5 yards of the ball because they expect the Blue Hawks right now to run, but their running game has been impressive today, especially that last run by Scott Graham. Off tackle is Walsh. Walsh is only going to get a couple of tough yards as he's stacked up by a number of white shirts.
Got a tough yard on the play, setting up now a 2nd and 9. Looks like Exeter will probably be content to let this clock run out or nearly run out. They'll run one more play as we're down to 7 seconds to go here in the third.
2nd down and 9. A play right up the middle. And it's Graham. He's got a first down as the third period comes to a close. The Blue Hawks are in command after 3 of this Division II championship game here at Eustace Field. At the end of 3 quarters, it's Exeter 24, the Bishop Girton Cardinals 7. We'll take a break. You're watching the Division II championship on Media One Sports. Today's game is brought to you by ManStyle Market Square, where you can experiment with your image as little or as much as you dare. 10 Congress Street, downtown Portsmouth. Ben's Photo, they do color print, slides, and black and white processing, as well as camera repairs and video transfers. They're located at 153 Water Street, downtown Exeter. The Exeter Candy Company, 3rd generation of candy makers in our hometown. They make the season sweet. 143 Water Street in Exeter. New England Pizza Restaurant, 92 Portsmouth Ave, where you can get pizza and more delivered to Stratham, Exeter, and parts of Newfields. Call them at 778-9800. The Pepsi Company at 125 Ocean Road in Greenland. They're in a league of their own. Nothing else is a Pepsi. And thanks to all of our sponsors for making this production possible. Stay tuned to this channel for Jones Jazz Jam and the Governor's Press Conference. Sam Bruno and Ben Cloutier back here at Eustace Field in Exeter. The Blue Hawks have a 2nd down and 7 as we start the 4th period. Exeter in control, 24-7. Off tackle is Scott Graham, just wanting to keep control of the ball right now on this 2nd down play. The Cardinal defense desperately needing to get the ball back now, as with a 17-point lead, Bishop Girton needs at least 3 scores.
And Sam, Scott Graham had a big third quarter, carried the ball 5 times for a total of 76 yards. On the game so far, he's got nearly 130. And that's just in rushing.
3rd down and 5. Ball at the 40-yard line. Bartell gives it to Walsh. Walsh driving for the first down marker. He won't get there. Cardinals make a big defensive stop, Ben, as they need the ball back. They can score quickly, but you can't do it if you don't get the ball.
No, and they're really to a point of the game now where they really need to start thinking about throwing the ball on just about every play, because not only will they maybe be able to score a little quicker by the pass, it'll stop the clock on incomplete passes and whatnot, because the clock is their enemy as it's down to 10:20 to go here in the 4th, and the team's changing up quickly as Exeter now gets ready to punt the ball and pinning the Cardinals down deep.
Brian Burbank kicks the ball toward the end zone. Nugent takes it inside the 10. Nugent will only get back to the 5-yard line.
Well, tough play there for the Cardinals. Might have been wise to let it drip into the end zone, but you're looking for a big play now when you're down by 17 points, so hoping he might be able to bust one down the sideline to get his team on the scoreboard quickly here. Doesn't work. It's going to be a 1st and 10 now from about the 6.
Jake Rowe made that big tackle for the Blue Hawks right now. Let's see what the Cardinals have up their sleeve. They have an offense that has a lot of trick plays, as we saw at the end of the 2nd quarter. But right now, the Hawks come out and score a big 3rd quarter touchdown to take a 17-point lead. 1st down and 10 for Lozo at quarterback. Off tackle, trying to get to the outside is Antista, and he gets a couple of yards, and that's about it.
Yeah, right now you're just going to have Exeter. They're just going to keep playing up close to the line of scrimmage because that's what they've been seeing most of the day. Again, they stop Bantista, who's had a very rough afternoon on this Saturday. It's going to be now a 2nd and 8. The ball at about the 7.
Two fine running backs we highlighted earlier were Walsh and Antista. The wild card in this game has been Scott Graham for the Exeter Bluehawks. 2nd down and 8. Lozo, half-back pass. He's going for it all. He's got a man out there, and it's going to be intercepted by Brian Gorski. A juggling interception by the Bluehawks. He battled the ball with Grant Webb, and it was Gorski coming down with the interception.
Lozo throwing that ball late. He had his receiver wide open. He had broken away from the Exeter secondary. Nobody near him. If he'd thrown the ball sooner, it could have been a quick 6. Instead, hesitated. Ball gets juggled and picked off. Exeter now with the ball in Cardinal territory. 1st and 10. 9:16 to go here in the 4th quarter.
Hawks wing T formation. 1st down and 10 in Girton territory. They go off tackle to Graham. Graham is stacked up at the line of scrimmage.
Exeter now will be very content just to keep running the ball and letting the ticks run off the clock. They'd like to put a 1st down or 2 back-to-back to keep the time going. We're now under 9 minutes, 2nd and 10.
Exeter offense needing to avoid mistakes. The Cardinal defense needing to force some mistakes right now. Right now we've got a light rain coming down here at Eustace Field. Bartell goes off tackle to Burbank. Burbank picks up a couple. That's about it.
Burbank's had a quiet day, but he picks the ball up there for a couple of yards, taking more seconds off the clock. 3rd and 9 now. We're down and probably in 4-down territory, but they may try to pooch punt if it gets to that.
3rd down and long for the Bluehawks, as Bartell keeps it on the ground to Fellman, and he'll be hitting the backfield and drop. Bob Powers was in there in the backfield on the big defensive play, as well as Jim McGinnis. So Burbank now will kick from near midfield, and the Cardinals will get the ball back, but time is running out, as there'll be about 7.5 minutes left to go when they get the ball back. And Cardinals are going to put a rush on. Here they come on Burbank, and they get part of the ball. They get part of the ball, but the ball will roll dead inside the 30 at about the 25-yard line.
Yeah, just trying to angle it off into the corner, trying to get it off to the side to try to pin the Cardinals down deep. Got a little too much off the side of his foot, I think, and but it gets the ball down inside the 25-yard line, so the Cardinals now are looking at a 76-yard drive if they're going to score a touchdown here. Clock stopped at 7:32 to go.
You just saw a very weary J.D. Lorimore out there for Bishop Girton. He's played a fine game today, but right now the Cardinals look up at the clock and the scoreboard, and they need to score fast. There'll be an official's timeout right now as they have some problems untangling the chains across the way, and they need to talk things over a little bit right now. 7:32 on the clock. A big score in this one came at 2:16 of the 3rd period when Scott Graham, the sophomore, went 43 yards for a touchdown. The Cardinals scored a big touchdown to end the first half to make it 16-7, and we had a big momentum shift there, Ben. But Exeter came right out in that 3rd quarter, went to the ground, and dominated the run game.
It seemed like they just really came out fired right up. That touchdown got the Cardinals back into the game at 16-7, but the Bluehawks wouldn't hear anything of it, and they just started taking some plays and breaking them off for big chunks of yardage. The average on the year, 6 yards a carry, and we saw a lot of that in the 3rd quarter, extended their lead to 24-7, and it's been a pretty much a turnover-free game, just that couple of interceptions.
Very surprising under the conditions here, but also hats off to the Exeter grounds crew for getting this field ready to be played today. There's been some pretty good footing for most of the players today.
And if we look out our window, we can see why. We've got all this pile of plastic they used to keep the field relatively snow-free.
7:32 left to go in the game. 1st down and 10 from the 20. Lozo on the draw, gives it to Antista, and he's just been shut down all day, Ben. That's a story in this one.
Yeah, he's their featured back. Exeter knows who they're going to have to go after to stop. If you're to stop the Cardinals, you just have to really focus on Antista. They may get the ball once in a while to O'Hearn.
It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 9. Lozeau, the quarterback, sends O'Hearn to the near side. Exeter defense playing a little bit soft right now. Lozeau over the middle has a man. It's tipped. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and the pass goes incomplete, and it will bring up a 3rd down.
Yeah, it's going to be 3rd and 9 now from about the 24-yard line. We are down to 6:52 here to go in the 4th quarter. Both schools have not had a state championship in many years, but Exeter is close to having their first in 32 years.
Todd Lozeau shaken up on that last play, Ben. Will bring in Shane Bognaski at quarterback, and they're going to have to hustle to get to the line to get this play off. 3rd down and long. They need 9 yards for a 1st down. Bognaski looking over the middle, sends it out into the flat. It's complete, but it's going to be run down by Rich Collins. It was complete to Dupratt, and Rich Collins showed good speed in bringing down the Cardinal receiver.
Yeah, Collins appeared to be lined up with Dupratt. Dupratt just was swinging himself over to the right side of the line, and Collins was just there following and did a great job of an open field tackle, not allowing Dupratt to get around the outside and take it down the sideline.
Bootwell will kick from around his own 15-yard line. No rush by the Blue Hawks. And the ball will roll, take a Girton bounce inside the 40 and get to the 36. But Exeter does not want to touch the kicks right now. They just want to run away from it, get their offense on the field, and give the ball to one of their 6 running backs.
And another nice punt there by Bootwell. Rolls about and gets about a 40-yard punt out of it, setting Exeter up inside their 40-yard line. It's going to be about a 1st and 10 from the 36. Clock is stopped with 6:06 now here to go in the 4th period. Exeter with a 17-point lead. Great game so far for the running tandems of the Exeter Blue Hawks.
No surprise in the Exeter offense right now. They're going to go right off tackle. The Cardinals, on the other hand, will send 11 men up to the line of scrimmage to stop the run. Feldman gets the first call, picks up no yardage on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10, but the Hawks are more concerned to be watching the clock run. They lead 24-7 here at home, trying to put together a championship season. The Hawks were ranked 3rd going into the tournament, knocked off Trinity, and now trying to finish the season off with a win against Bishop Girton. Fumble on the play. Bartell hustled a little bit, and let's see who grabs it. We will go right there with our Media One Sports camera and show you that Bartell jumped right back on it. So Bartell picks up the fumble, and the clock will roll. 5:15 left to go.
About a 3rd and 11 now for Exeter, but that's not really of a main concern. They'll run off another play and take some more time off the clock. Girton sort of has to start thinking about miracles, down by 17 points and under 5 minutes to go.
3 touchdowns for the Blue Hawks this afternoon. As Bartell goes off tackle to Walsh. Walsh is hitting the backfield. Will be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. So it will be 3 and out for the Blue Hawks, but they were able to run a couple of minutes off the clock, Ben. And right now, the Cardinals need a big return.
That'd be a good place to start. They're down 24-7. We're under 4.5 minutes now to go in the 4th quarter.
Burbank's kick, he gets it away. It comes down to Nugent at the 35-yard line. Number 23, Nugent, down the sideline, brings it back about 15 yards, and that's about it before he's tackled by Kevin Warnock.
Yeah, gets it out to the 45, setting up pretty good starting field position for this drive for the Cardinals. But they got to get 55 yards on this particular drive, and then an onside kick and another touchdown and probably another onside kick is before they can get themselves back into this one. It's been a great game offensively and defensively for Exeter. They had 3 big plays on offense, a couple of long runs and one nice long pass and a safety. building up this 17-point lead.
1st and 10 for the Cardinals. At quarterback is Bognaski. Drops back to pass. He's going to go for a long ball. He's got Webb out there. A great catch by Grant Webb. At the 20-yard line, Bognaski to Webb gives the Cardinals the ball inside the 20, 1st and 10.
Well, 34-yard pickup on that play. That's the way they're going to have to do it. The clock is stopped now as they move the chains. It'll be 1st and 10 now for the Cardinals at Exeter's 20-yard line. They're down to that part of the field where they'll probably have to throw it up a couple more times. They can't allow too much time to run off the clock while they try to score.
Bognaski will drop back again, looks out into the flat, now pulls the ball down. Shane Bognaski is in the open. Bognaski still on his feet. Oh, a gutsy play by the Cardinal quarterback as he put the ball under his arm and went toward the sticks. And we'll see where they spot the ball. It looks like it's going to be at the 6-yard line, and 1st and goal, Bishop Girton.
And he gets about 15 yards on that play. Going to be a 1st and goal now from about the 6-yard line. Clock is still rolling. 3:40 to go in the 4th.
Twin receivers to the near side. Sends a man in motion. Bognaski on the option. Gives it to Antista. Antista at the 5, down to the 3-yard line.
Tough yardage there for Antista. Nice job on the pitch as the quarterback got nailed as he was pitching the ball away to Antista. Antista takes it around the right side, gets a tough 3 yards. But Exeter is able to keep the Cardinals out of the end zone. 2nd and 3. Clock is going now with 3:04 in the 4th.
24-7 our score. A must series here for the Cardinals. 2nd down and goal. Ball is at the 3-yard line. Bognaski will take a look at the Exeter defense. He fumbles the ball. It's up for grabs, and Exeter says they have it. We'll wait for the official call as they unstack. And it's going to be 3rd down.
Well, now they'll get the clock rolling. 2:40 to go now in the 4th period. 3rd and goal from the 2, and Girton calls a timeout.
You know, Ben, Exeter, they don't score that 3rd quarter touchdown. This is a big, big play in this game. But, boy, that 3rd quarter by Exeter where they held on to the ball for, I've got to guess, at least 9 of the 12 minutes.
Yep.
And scored a touchdown on their 2nd possession. Could be the story in this one, although they did run out to a 16-0 lead.
Scott Graham really carried the Exeter Blue Hawks in that 3rd period. As we're looking now into the Exeter huddle as you see Coach Bill Ball talking to his troops. 17-point lead. Don't blow it. I think that's play it safe at this point. You don't want to make any stupid mistakes with penalties or whatnot. 3rd and goal from the 3. Clock stopped with 2:38. Bill Ball has finished talking to his team, and he comes back toward the sidelines as they get ready to line up for this 3rd down play.
Girton at the line, the tailback in the eye is number 18, Antista. Ends are in tight. They give it to Antista. Oh, my goodness, there was a collision in the backfield. Led by number 53, Nick Graham.
A huge surge put on there by the Blue Hawks as they just came crashing through the line. It looked like all 11 players of Exeter was all over Antista. They drop him for a 2-yard loss. 4th and goal now from the 5. The Cardinals have to score here if they want to entertain any comeback hopes in these waning moments.
There you see Tony Johnson talking with his quarterback. With 2:23 on the clock, it's going to be 4th down and goal. The ball is at the 4-yard line. And it looks like they'll try to probably run something to the outside. It's been very, very difficult running inside for Antista all day long.
Well, with the ball lined up on the right hash mark, they have all kinds of room to the left. Maybe they can try to set up some sort of screen play or some sort of pitch play to the left side of the line.
Here we go, 4th down and 4. Cardinals trying to stay alive in this one as they trail by 17. Bognaski, the quarterback, will run it to the outside. He pitches to Antista. Antista will go in for the score. John Antista makes it 24-13 on a 4-yard touchdown run, but there's only 2:17 to go.
Right now, 24-13, down by 11. At this point, probably just go for the one because they'll need to score 2 more times. They need a touchdown and a field goal if they want to try to send this game into overtime. 24-13, 2:17 to go as they set up for what appears to be a 2-point play.
Going for 2. I wouldn't be surprised if they ran the same thing. Bognaski gives it in the middle. Driving, a 2-point conversion is good.
Well, this kind of, not that we have a recovered onside kick, but this right now is making you think back toward the end of the first half. If they had gone for a 2-point conversion on that touchdown they scored at the end of the first half and got it, they'd only be down by a touchdown right now. Right. 1 score.
That's right. So now it's 9 points instead of 8 points. So Blue Hawks still have breathing room, so to speak. As in the rain right now, light mist, light rain here at Eustis Field. These clubs will slug it out for another 2:17 as the Cardinals showed a lot of fortitude right there and hanging tough in this one to come down and score a touchdown.
It's our second time down here to see Exeter play a ball game this year, and it could be the second game in which a safety plays an integral part to the final outcome.
That's right. We that safety came in the first quarter, and that's a big play in this one right now.
First time we saw it, it was crucial to a Dover victory over the Blue Hawks back earlier this year. Right now, the safety working to the Exeter's advantage.
Okay, let's watch the onside kick. It's got to go 10 yards. And let's see, it looks like a Girton player recovered it before it went the 10 yards, Ben. It'll be Exeter's ball. A Girton player jumped on it when it had gone 9 yards. Yeah, and now they're giving it to Girton.
Well, the thing that happened...
Okay, now they changed their mind.
I think I know why there might have been a little bit of confusion, because that player for Girton that did jump on it, he was at the 10 yards. He was standing on the other side of the 50-yard line. He saw the ball wasn't going to make it that last yard or two, so he kind of dove over it, trying to do like an onside play in hockey, trying to keep his feet over the line, but it doesn't work in this game.
Also remember, in that last drive by Girton, they had to use 2 timeouts. 2:16 on the clock. Bartel... Feldman just cradling the ball right now. Goes over midfield to the 44-yard line. And Girton will call the final timeout right now, Ben, with 2:10 on the clock. So an Exeter first down, and this game is over.
Girton, what they're really kind of hoping for now is some sort of fumble on the snap, and hopefully one of their Cardinals can jump on it. But that's a tough order to put in and have received, so it's 24-15, 2:10 left on the clock in the fourth. And I think there's going to be a lot of happy fans here at Eustis Field in about another 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Okay, we're here at Eustis Field in Exeter. We'll be back with more right after this timeout. Today's game is brought to you by Man Style Market Square, where you can experiment with your image as little or as much as you dare. 10 Congress Street, downtown Portsmouth. Ben's Photo, they do color print, slides, and black and white processing, as well as camera repairs and video transfers. They're located at 153 Water Street, downtown Exeter. The Exeter Candy Company, 3rd generation of candy makers in our hometown. They make the season sweet. 143 Water Street in Exeter. New England Pizza Restaurant, 92 Portsmouth Ave, where you can get pizza and more delivered to Stratham, Exeter, and parts of Newfields. Call them at 778-9800. The Pepsi Company at 125 Ocean Road in Greenland. They're in a league of their own, nothing else. 1:38 left to go in the ball game. 3rd down, Burbank driving for the first down, and it looks like he's got it. 1:32 on the clock. The Exeter Blue Hawks lead by 9. The Girton Cardinals have no timeouts left. And right now, the Blue Hawks are on their way to the state title.
1:27 to go. It's been a long time coming for the Exeter Blue Hawks. 4 title appearances since '65, runner-ups in each year. But this year, they're going to end that drought.
Scott Graham hanging on to the ball, and that's all he needs to do right now as the Cardinals can't stop the clock. It'll bring up a second down, and there's less than a minute to go in this one.
Good job all day by the Exeter team offensively and defensively. They keyed up and stopped Antista. They let one big play go to O'Hearn and Riley. But other than that, it's been a pretty sparkling day, and now you'll just see Exeter start kneeling on the ball.
Bartell on the second down play goes to one knee, and the celebration is beginning here at Eustis Field. Clock is rolling, less than 30 to go now. The coaches and players start to embrace as this place will explode in 23 seconds as the Blue Hawks will win their first state football title since 1965, 32 years. 10 seconds left on the clock, and we'll watch it. Here is Eustis Field as the Hawks will win 24-15 today.
Long way in coming. Last year, a state championship lost to Dover 21-3. In 1997, Exeter comes back to the state title game, and this time they'll bring the trophy home 24-15 over a Bishop Girton team that had a great season but just comes up a little bit short on this Saturday.
It was 16-7 at the half. Both teams scored a touchdown here in the second half. So the eventual final score was Exeter beating Bishop Girton today 24-15. Scott Graham's touchdown with 2:16 in the third gave the Exeter Blue Hawks the insurmountable lead. It was a 43-yard touchdown run. John Antista scored his only touchdown with 2:17 left to go in the fourth. And it wasn't enough for the Cardinals today as the third-ranked Blue Hawks take home the Division II crown.
Pretty entertaining game, though. We saw some pretty good defense on both sides, but not only that, we saw some nice big plays, both on run plays and pass plays by Exeter and by Girton. Nice little trick play with the pass and that hook and ladder play.
And certainly under the elements today, these clubs played some pretty steady ball right now. Not a lot of turnovers, and it was a type of game that, as we expected, was hard hitting. I didn't expect this many points, to be perfectly honest with you.
No, just a couple of interceptions, but they did. They got their footing, and we saw nearly 40 points scored today, 39. A fun game to watch. And the Exeter fans obviously very excited.
Well, as you see right now, players congratulating one another from both teams. We're going to take a break and be back with some post-game comments as Exeter beats Bishop Girton today 24-15. You're watching the Division II Championship on Media One Sports. Today's game is brought to you by Man Style Market Square, where you can experiment with your image as little or as much as you dare. 10 Congress Street, downtown Portsmouth. Ben's Photo, they do color print, slides, and black and white processing, as well as camera repairs and video transfers. They're located at 153 Water Street, downtown Exeter. The Exeter Candy Company, third generation of candy makers in our hometown. They make the season sweet. 143 Water Street in Exeter. New England Pizza Restaurant, 92 Portsmouth Ave, where you can get pizza and more delivered to Stratham, Exeter, and parts of Newfields. Call them at 778-9800. The Pepsi Company at 125 Ocean Road in Greenland. They're in a league of their own. Nothing else is a Pepsi. And thanks to all of our sponsors for making this production possible. Stay tuned to this channel for Jones Jazz Jam and the Governor's Press Conference. As you can see, the home of the Blue Hawks is a pretty happy place this afternoon. Exeter 24, Bishop Girton 15. Let's run down the scoring for you in this one. Exeter came out and scored the first touchdown with 8:53 to go in the first quarter on an electrifying 64-yard run by Matt Walsh, as you just saw being hoisted there by his teammates. The kick by Matt Dolly was good, and Exeter scored first, leading 7-0. The defense scored some points today. It was a safety, and that eventually was a big play in this one, as the defense got John Antista tangled in the end zone for a safety to make it 9-0. And also in the first period, it was a touchdown pass from Chris Bartell to Scott Graham. That went 44 yards, and the kick was good to make it 16-0. That score held until late in the first half. In the second quarter, Exeter was driving inside the 5-yard line, but the Cardinal defense stiffened and stopped the Blue Hawks. They tried a field goal. It was no good. And then the Cardinals came back with less than a minute to go. Some good passing from Matt Lazeau. And then with only 11 seconds left to go, Lazeau threw a touchdown pass to Mike Riley, and it was an electrifying play here at Eustis Field. In fact, it was the old hook and ladder. The play went to Matt O'Hearn. O'Hearn lateraled the ball to Riley at the 50-yard line. Riley ran across the field, getting some great crack back blocking from his ball club, and it made the score 16-7 as the kick for the extra point was good, and there was a major momentum shift in favor of the Cardinals there as the teams went to the locker room. But the story in this one for me was the third quarter. The Blue Hawks came out, controlled the ball in the third quarter for about 9 of the 12 minutes, and scored a touchdown with 2:16 to go in the third. Scott Graham, a 43-yard touchdown pass. Check that, a 43-yard touchdown run to make it 22-7, and then Matt Walsh picked up the ball on the point after and threw a 2-point conversion pass to Brian Burbank. That made it 24-7, and the Exeter defense was able to hold the Cardinals off the board until 2:17 of the fourth quarter, when John Antista swept around the far side and went in for a touchdown. The 2-point conversion was good by the Cardinals, but that's our final score. As you see, 24-15, the Exeter Blue Hawks win their first state title since 1965. They had been in the finals 4 other times during those 32 years and came up short, but not today on a windy and rainy and snowy day here at Eustis Field in Exeter. Coming up, we'll be talking with Bill Ball of the Exeter Blue Hawks. You're watching the Division II High School Championship game on Media One Sports. Today's game is brought to you by Man Style Market Square, where you can experiment with your image as little or as much as you dare. 10 Congress Street, downtown Portsmouth. Ben's Photo, they do color print, slides, and black and white processing, as well as camera repairs and video transfers. They're located at 153 Water Street, downtown Exeter. The Exeter Candy Company, 3rd generation of candy makers in our hometown. They make the season sweet. 143 Water Street in Exeter. New England Pizza Restaurant, 92 Portsmouth Ave, where you can get pizza and more delivered to Stratham, Exeter, and parts of Newfields. Call them at 778-9800. The Pepsi Company at 125 Ocean Road in Greenland. They're in a league of their own. Nothing else is a Pepsi. And thanks to all of our sponsors for making this production possible. Stay tuned to this channel for Jones Jazz Jam and the Governor's Press Conference. Welcome back to Eustis Field in Exeter. I'm Sam Bruno, where today the Exeter Blue Hawks defeat the Bishop Gurdon Cardinals 24-15 to win the Division II championship with the winning head coach. Bill Ball is Ben Cloutier. Ben?
Hello, I'm Ben Cloutier, and we're here talking to the most popular guy, I think, today here at Eustis Field, head coach of the Exeter Blue Hawks, Bill Ball. What a great game today.
Thanks very much. Great year for us to end up against a fine Bishop Gurdon team to win a state title on our home field is extra special.
You did a great job today of stopping John Antista. What kind of game plan did you have into stopping Antista today?
He's a great back. We just thought, we played pretty much our base defense. We have eight guys in the box and try to do a good job of containing him.
Now, Bishop Girton, you had them down quickly, 16-0 at the end of the first quarter. They were in the same sort of situation last week against Dover, and they were able to come back and win. Girton, at the last play of the first half, had that hook and ladder that probably put a spark into their team. What did you tell your Exeter squad at halftime?
You know, it was a great individual effort by that Riley, number 80, the Riley boy. We told them, what it basically told them, it ignited us. We felt that we had stopped them. They hadn't had a first down in the first half, and they had a great individual effort, and that we were going to be more motivated in the second half to shut them down.
Did a great job there, and Scott Graham had a great day today running and passing the ball. It seems like he was in the offense a little bit more than what we're used to seeing. Was that part of the original game plan?
I thought last week our trap game started to come along a little bit, and we spent a little bit more time with it this week, and we were able to catch them in a two-deep coverage, and we slipped them out of the backfield for a big play in the first half. That was nice.
So how does this feel this year compared to how the season ended last year?
It was a tremendous feeling. I'll tell you right now, though, those kids last year, I have all the respect in the world for them, and they started this thing going, and these guys finish it up.
Well, a great job today. Congratulations. Exeter 14 win over Bishop Girton, State Championship Division II. Back to you, Sam.
Okay, thank you very much, Ben, and congratulations to Bill Ball, his staff, and the entire Exeter Blue Hawk team, as well as Tony Johnson and the Bishop Girton Cardinals, as they put on a good game today, but the Cardinals fall short. The Exeter Blue Hawks lead from start to finish today and beat Bishop Girton, as you see, by a score of 24-15. And certainly we want to congratulate both clubs for putting on a fine game under adverse conditions here today at Eustace Field in Exeter. We certainly want to thank all our sponsors: Man Style, Ben's Photo, Exeter Candy Company, New England Pizza and Restaurant, and Pepsi Company for their support of today's game. Certainly we want to thank our producer Mike Pomeroy, our director Kevin Callahan. The entire Media One Sports crew did a great job bringing you all the fine pictures today from Eustace Field. Final score today, Exeter beats Bishop Girton 24-15. For Ben Cloutier, I'm Sam Bruno saying so long from Eustace Field.
You're watching Media One's New Hampshire Network.
Welcome to Help New Hampshire. I'm your host, Paul Boynton. Today we're going to be talking about bereavement, and my guest is Chan Newton, who is the chaplain and bereavement coordinator for the Optima VNA in Manchester. Welcome, Chan. You work with a friend of mine, Jane Clough.
Indeed.
All right, well, tell her I said hi.
I will do that.
Tell her my mother said hi. Chan, what is bereavement? I mean, that's like getting over someone's death?
It's the process that we go through after we've lost someone we love, that we're very close to. And it's a profound change in our lives, usually, because it affects us at every level. It affects us intellectually, it affects us on a very deep feeling level. All our senses are involved. It's a profound change.
People do not like to talk about this, and I'm even feeling a little uncomfortable right now talking about it. We almost tend to ignore it until we're faced with it, and then it seems like something very strange and powerful that hits us.
It's amazing because I was just out in Deerfield, Massachusetts at some of the old historical houses there, and one of the things that's in many of the houses is a mourning plaque which has the names of all the family members who've died, and in those days far more people died at a much younger age, and mourning was a much more accepted part of life, and there were many rituals that were part of accepting that person's death. Everything from taking a locket of their hair and wear it around your neck to ongoing ceremonies that would happen throughout the year, noting their birthday in a particular way, noting the anniversary of their death in a particular way. And most of those rituals have been stripped away. What remains are, for instance, in the Catholic Church, there's the masses that are said on a regular basis for people, or in the Jewish Church, there's still Shiva for some people being set for a week, and at the end of the year, they have the yahrzeit candle. But for many, many others, there are no other guidelines or routes or journeys to take that are mapped out for you. You're kind of left on your own. And you're right, very few people are comfortable talking about it. I think as soon as we're put in touch with our own mortality, we want to shy away from that. We want to not talk about it. So it is very difficult, and it's made all the more difficult by the very fact that many of your friends are no longer available to you because they don't know what to say, and they also feel very uncomfortable bringing it up. They don't know if it's right to talk about it or not to talk about it, so they often will just leave the subject untouched, and that can be terribly isolating for people who are going through a bereavement.
You know, so we're talking now about something that many of us tend to avoid talking about, yet you spend your whole life doing that. You know, when you're sitting around and you're talking with new people that you're meeting, and they say, "What do you do for work?" and you say you're a bereavement coordinator. How does that go over?
Usually the drink is very stale and you refresh it very quickly. But so a few people are intrigued or curious. They say, "Isn't it very depressing?" And in fact, if it were only that, it would be very hard to stay with it. But one of the things that's amazing is the courage that people have to somehow work through the process of grieving and then find a way to continue to honor their loved one while they